Okay, so I am back from Minnesota and the family reunion, and I have some thoughts. So flying into Minnesota was kind of one of the first times that I have traveled by myself in a long time, and definitely the first time that I have been on a plane by myself. So getting to SeaTac and finding my gate was easy enough, but I haven't been to MSP for a really long time, and trying to find the light rail station and get from the airport to St. Paul via light rail was a little bit tricky. And one of the things that I had forgotten about taking public transit in the Twin Cities is the obscene amount of catcalling that any relatively attractive young woman is going to face. I think from the airport to downtown St. Paul, I was catcalled 7 distinct different times. And I guess for me that was kind of jarring because that just doesn't really happen much here in Seattle. I can go on a walk, hop on a bus, take an Uber, whatever, and like pretty much nobody talks to me. Like, people just kind of leave you alone here for the most part, which is great. So barring that, I was able to, with some ease, get to my Airbnb without much fuss, and that place was great. I loved Sean's house. If you Google haunted Airbnb, it's like one of the first listings that will come up. The outside of the house is this lovely stonework, and he's got a fantastic courtyard and like garden area, and the inside of the house is beautiful. He's done a lot of work on it, and I would definitely stay there again. So here's like a quick clip of the room that I was staying. Here's some photos actually of the room that I was in, and some clips. I don't know, I got a lot of footage, so here it is. Good morning. It is day 2 in Minnesota, and I have just kind of gotten ready for the day here in my Airbnb, and I'm having some coffee and some cookies, and in about, I guess, an hour and a half or so, I will call a Lyft to take me over to my cousin's house for the family reunion, and we'll see how that goes. So the day of the family reunion, I kind of woke up kind of naturally at like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and it was really nice that I didn't have to get up and rush out of the Airbnb, and you know, Sean was really cool about letting me just kind of slowly roll out of bed and wake up at my own pace. So he very graciously provided me with some coffee, and I had packed some cookies, so you know, while I was getting dressed and getting ready for all of that, I was able to caffeinate properly, which was great because I had a bit of a headache. I had also intended to take an Uber or a Lyft over to where my cousin's house was, but since it was really close to where my Airbnb host Sean was going to be headed that day anyhow, he offered to drive me for free, which was great, so I didn't have to, you know, pay for a ride and then sit in a car with some stranger I didn't know how to talk to for, you know, 15-20 minutes. So that saved me a lot of money and discomfort. So when I arrived at the house, I kind of didn't really know what to do, because I'm walking up to this property with people that I haven't seen in like 20 plus years, right? So I recognized my Uncle Dennis right away heading into the house. So I knew I was in the right spot at least. So I kind of like walked in and approached everybody in the kitchen and just kind of stood there until they noticed me. And I was I was really surprised because they kind of immediately recognized me and were really, were really welcoming, and they were really excited that I was there, and like everybody got up to give me a hug and, you know, make sure that I knew who they were, which most of them I did know because I follow some of them on Facebook, so that was helpful. It was going really well, and I had, you know, a couple glasses of wine and a beer, and then at about that time I got word that my father, who I have also have not seen in over 20 years and I've had very minimal contact with, had arrived. I wasn't really sure how I was gonna feel, like seeing him in person for the first time since I was, you know, 4.5 years old. I guess what surprised me was like how initially like detached I was from the situation. Like it felt really surreal, like he was just some dude, part of the family, so, you know, got up, said hi, gave him a hug, and that was kind of that, I guess. He also he knew who I was. I guess I wasn't expecting that. I didn't expect him to remember me. I didn't expect him to recognize me, but he did. After I had significantly more glasses of wine, because they just kept pouring them. Oh, you need this, you need another one, you know. I think the feels started to hit me a little bit, and but you know, when I was leaving, when I was in the car headed to the airport, it was really hard, like, not to cry. So I did. There was a lot to feel overwhelmed by, and not just, you know, seeing my dad for the first time and, you know, seeing proof that he was like still alive and, you know, knew who I was and maybe wanted to rekindle some kind of relationship. I don't know. So definitely that was a lot. It was a lot. But then just like how welcoming all these other family members were to me, someone who's just been estranged from them for, you know, the better part of 2 decades, and that they were just so happy that I was there, and that, you know, they were really excited about the idea of me coming back and attending more family functions and seeing everybody again. So naturally, by the time I was hopping on my plane after re-navigating Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport to find my gate.
Okay, love you. Wanna hear you say, I want it that way. Am I your fire? Your one, I see you. Desire. Yes, I know it's too late. Come on, Seattle. But I want it that way.
GTFO from MSP.
Aboard Alaska Airlines Flight 704 with service to Seattle. These second tier will allow others behind you to pass. That will allow us to expedite the boarding process, and hopefully you can push earlier. These are space bins, which means you can place your suitcase on its side.
But it was kind of nice that this was like an evening flight, so they kept the lights down low and everybody was like pretty quiet and chill. I definitely cried a few times on the flight, just you know, still wallowing in a little bit of those feelings of overwhelm. And yeah, so by the time like I landed in Seattle and Dee came and picked me up, I was ready to check out for the night. it definitely has taken me about a week to really put my thoughts together on how I wanted to wrap up this video. And I'm still not 100% on everything, but I feel like I'm a lot more level-headed now, and I can talk about it and not get all like weepy or emotional or whatever. So yeah. Well, I've been rambling for about 15 minutes, so you're probably going to see a very chopped up version of all of this, and the video is hopefully going to be a lot shorter for you. Yeah, so thanks for watching. My next video is actually going to be a moving video, and I will talk more about that in my next set of clips. The next video you watch will be the details of how we were moving from Seattle back to Tacoma, where we originally landed when we got here, and super excited about that, and I can't wait to give you guys a tour of our new place. So until then, thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like if you haven't, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.